There's this saying that we're basically the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. It's a pretty wild idea, right? That our closest friends have this incredible, almost invisible power to shape us, influencing how we think, how we act, and really who we end up becoming.
So that leads to a huge question. Do we really become like our closest friends? Well, to really dig into that, we're going to look at one of the most amazing personal transformations in history. And it was all driven by one of the most powerful friendships ever recorded, the one between Jesus and his disciple John. All right, so to really get this, you got to go back to the beginning. John was one of the youngest of Jesus' 12 disciples, and right from the start, he stayed super close to him. Their friendship? It was a total case of opposites attract.
And wow, the contrast here is it's huge. On one hand, you've got John. He wasn't exactly a patient, humble guy at first. In fact, he and his brother James had such a short fuse that Jesus literally nicknamed them the Sons of Thunder. John was proud, he was ambitious. And then on the other side, you have Jesus, selfless, loving, and maybe most importantly, an always honest friend. And you can totally see that pride and jealousy play out right here. This moment, it wasn't about protecting Jesus' name. No, it was about their own status. They were worried about how it made them look, especially since they couldn't always do it themselves. It was a perfect snapshot of who they were at the time.
So how does a son of thunder even begin to change? Well, it definitely didn't happen overnight. It was a slow burn, a gradual process, guided by his mentor and friend Jesus, who seemed to have this 3-step way of helping him grow.
Okay, so first, being a true friend, Jesus would gently but honestly call John out when he was being selfish or trying to be the boss. Second, John was always being invited to pray with Jesus, so he got to see his mentor's incredible dedication up close, like seeing Jesus get up very early in the morning while it was still dark just to pray. And then third, John started doing it himself, practicing that same deep connection.
And this is where the light bulb goes off for John. He starts to realize that his own ambition, his own temper, that wasn't where real strength came from. True success, he learned, came from a totally different place, from trusting God completely and making prayer a regular habit.
It's really that simple. There wasn't some magic formula. John's transformation happened because he stayed close to Jesus. By just choosing to stick around, to listen, and to learn, he slowly but surely started to look more and more like his best friend. Look, every friendship gets tested, right? But the test John was about to face was, well, it was the ultimate test of character and loyalty. This was the moment where everything he had learned was about to be put on the line, Jesus' trial and crucifixion.
In that moment of pure fear, when so many others were running for the hills or even denying they ever knew Jesus, John did the complete opposite. He didn't hide, he didn't pretend. He walked right into that judgment hall, stood in a corner, and just watched, determined to be as close to his friend as he possibly could be in his darkest hour.
And then, at the foot of the cross, Jesus makes this final act of trust. He looks at his mother, and he looks at his best friend John, and he asks John to take care of her. In that single moment, Jesus knew. He knew John's heart had been completely transformed. The proud, hot-headed young man was now the most trustworthy, loving friend anyone could ask for.
So this friendship, this incredible journey, it didn't just change John for a little while. It completely redefined his entire life and his legacy. The transformation that started all those years ago had finally come full circle.
That fiery, hot-tempered son of thunder, he's gone. And in his place is this wise, steady, loving person. Think about it. Years later, it's this same John, the trusted, beloved friend, that Jesus entrusts with the wild, complex visions in the book of Revelation. I mean, that just shows you how deep the change really went.
So when we talk about transformation, we're not talking about just tweaking a few things here and there. We mean a deep, dramatic change in who someone is. And John's journey from a proud son of thunder to the beloved disciple, it is the perfect example of how a powerful friendship can completely reshape a person from the inside out.
And that brings us right back to where we started, and right back to you. John's story is this incredible reminder that our relationships aren't just passive things. They are actively molding us every single day. So it really is worth asking yourself, who are your friendships shaping you to be? And are you happy with where that's headed?